Carmona, a serene enclave in history. A millennial haven which sits high on a hill overlooking the Vega of Los Alcores. As if it sought to grasp from the sky the bright star which awakes from the slumber of centuries. The dreamlike state which envelops the civilizations of the past. Who were tired of wandering the four corners of the world and found refuge on this unique promontory. 5,000 years later, it continues to stare up at the same celestial sphere, a setting for extraordinary dawns and sunsets. Time in staking their claim over Carmona, at the time in the hands of the Tartessans, the last men of the Bronze Age. What better symbol could the city adopt for its tourism industry than the chimeras their craftsmen etched on the large ceramic jars of El Saltillo in the 6th century BC. These jars today guard the dusty air of centuries and bear witness to the passing of the millenniums. While the arrival of the Carthaginians saw the construction of moats and bastions, Carmona was now a sought-after prize, and its settlers were not prepared to hand over their land without resistance and conquest, two concepts which are the very fabric of the patchwork of history. In the 2nd century BC, to make the town a stronghold of the province of Betica. And so, blocks were raised over blocks, Carmona being living proof that history is written in stone. The Romans built a gate for this impregnable fortress, behind which the mysteries of Carmona were hidden from the rest of the world. The Romans unpacked their luggage, for they were to take possession of these lands for hundreds of years. Centuries later, the Cardo Maximo, the main road in the town, continues to mark an enchanting route from the Seville Gate, a place of worship of the Roman gods of the home, through to the Cordoba Gate. It was not long afterward that the Muslims came to the city. Their presence lasted for another long spell of centuries, from 713 to 1247 AD. During this time, the town was called Carmona, a Muslim name composed of a mixture of Arab and Berber surnames. This was a further occasion for union and mixture, for the Hispano-Goths adopted Islam in the same way that the prehistoric men of the Bronze Age welcomed the Tartessans. It also signified a new age of splendor for the city, which lasted until the end of the Caliphate. To celebrate their arrival, the Muslims extended the fortress or Alcázar at the Seville Gate with the addition of the Tower of Homage, as well as building a new archway which was both higher and more splendid than the existing one. At the same time, the city needed protection from attacks along the escarpment which leads down to the infinite lengths of the surrounding Vega. The Muslims therefore decided to build another fortress, the Alcázar de Arriba, where King Pedro would later stay, and which offers majestic views of the surrounding countryside. Between these two fortresses, Carmona is a labyrinth of narrow streets, with lattice windows used to see without being seen, and the popular refinement of domestic life. But Muslim influence continued to make its presence felt in the fields of construction and decoration, with the supervision of the architects of the 14th century. Churches and convents were to benefit from both the Gothic and Muslim influences left behind by past settlers, which were decisive in the shaping of the city's first districts. Alfonso X granted Carmona its own municipality, and the town continued to grow. Pedro I left his mark too, influenced by his liking for Islamic styles. The arrival of the Catholic monarchs put an end to the conflicts between the nobility, bringing to a close the Middle Ages in Carmona. The dynasty of the Austrias arrived at a time of disagreement and contrasts between palatial aristocracy and common townspeople, power and obedience, possession and tireless work. Numerous convents and monasteries were also built. The aristocracy were to use the Baroque style to remodel mudéjar forms by constructing bell towers. The modern age sees the town grow towards the outskirts, known as the Arrabal. Here you can make a stop in the Alameda of Alfonso XIII. You can also visit the centenary Cerezo Theatre. Carmona can now look back over its 3 millennia of history with a sense of pride for all its past achievements. The town also finds time for celebration and festivities, especially when these celebrations are faithful representations of old customs and traditions. Such festivities awake the appetite, and there is no better place to satisfy your hunger than in the town of Carmona. There is no shortage of restaurants and bars to try these specialities, whether in the form of tapas or more elaborate main dishes, and all exquisitely prepared. Accommodation is also in abundant supply in the town, which has already been host to King Pedro and the nobility of centuries past. The parador, hotels, hostels, and rural accommodation provide a welcoming atmosphere to all those who visit Carmona and seek a well-earned rest after an unforgettable day. One of the town's chief attractions is its unique location, only a stone's throw away from Seville. Take a stroll down the town's side streets, and you will be struck by a kaleidoscope of images. Look up to the bright star in the sky after which Carmona is named, framed by the monumental forms of its stone buildings. Let yourself be enchanted by the breeze and its unique sunsets, which leave a veil of shadows on the whitewashed walls. Seek out the silence of centuries enclosed in its courtyards, the hustle and bustle of times gone by. Let yourself be enchanted by the generosity of its beauty. That same beauty which the city bestows on humanity. For it is, as it has been since the dawn of time, Europe's bright star.